The following is a presentation of Puska Media Services in cooperation with the Northern Ontario Walleye Trail. It's time to talk Walleye Tournament Championship Fishing. This is Catching Gold, the official podcast of the NOWT. In the next 30 minutes, hear all of the latest information on the trail, plus highlights of all of the stops across Northern Ontario. We will interview the anglers, corporate partners, volunteers, and bring you inside access like never before. Watch Catching Gold on the YouTube channels of the Northern Ontario Walleye Trail at the official NOWT, the Northern Corridor Podcast Network, and PuskaMediaServices.com. Now let's hear from the guys, host Dennis J. Puska, and trail executive members and anglers Shane Turcotte and Dean Bliss.
Welcome to episode 3 of Catching Gold, the official podcast of the Northern Ontario Walleye Trail. Great to have you back with us. My name is Dennis J. Puska. We're joined alongside by Dean Bliss and Shane Turcotte from the NOWT. On our program today, friends, we've got a very special show. We're going to be catching up with anglers, and I always enjoy catching up with them. Done interviews before with anglers and really got a kick out of it. You'll be hearing from Kevin Robineau, also Steve Gravel and Chase Gravel. And they're going to fill us in. Chase, we've got actually some video on him. We're going to be showing a little bit later on our program. That's going to be real cool. Dean and Shane, join us. Guys, a real neat opportunity to catch up with these trio and have some fun chatting with them.
Oh, for sure. Like, you know, these guys were, Kevin and Steve were our champions last year, and I had the pleasure of awarding Chase the Garmin Youth Angler of the Year in Sault Ste. Marie. You know, he really did something great there, really helped his team out. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to him. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're all great. I mean, I just can't say enough. I mean, they're, you know, so humble, especially, you know, you see them on the you know, on the stage, and they've been there a few times, let's just say that, right? Collecting whatever. And you know, in the one particular event I remember 2 years ago, you know, they had won the Garmin prize and whatever, and then they just called up, you know, like the youngest person in the crowd, right? And they just brought that young angler up to the stage and then presented him with, you know, this whole Garmin package, right? And yeah, so I mean, that just goes to tell you, like, you know, what they're both made of there.
Make sure you ask them that, Dean, when we have them on, because that is something, you know, really good that they do.
Yep.
Pretty amazing stuff. And we've got the video of Chase catching that fish. That's pretty cool. I think when I watched the video, I couldn't help but smile. The reaction from him and just watching the video, I thought was pretty cool. Talk a little about that before we get to them.
Yeah, and you know what? I can't wait to ask him about this because, you know, he was pretty excited on the video, and I think that was their last fish for the box. So that was a pretty important fish that got him, you know, the finish that they got last year here in Sault Ste. Marie. So again, he really helped out his team there, and he participated. And he's a really good angler. And he's learned from his dad too. And his dad's a pretty accomplished angler himself. But anyways, it's really great to see the kids follow in their dad's footsteps. But I could tell you, Chase is going to be carving some of his own path out there very soon too.
Yeah, when I saw the video, I thought I was watching an episode of Wicked Tuna.
What we're going to do is this. We're going to pause. We're going to show the video of Chase catching that fish, and then we will go directly to our interview, and you'll get a chance to meet them. We'll spend some time, and we'll have some fun with all the anglers getting together, and we'll talk what best that we all talk about, and that's a little bit of fishing. This is episode 3 of Catching Gold, the official podcast of the Northern Ontario Walleye Trail. You can find us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the page, subscribe to their channel, subscribe as well to the Northern Ontario, the Northern Corridor Podcast Network as well. And we want you to get involved in all of that. And let's pause, show the video. We'll come back.
You know, hold on. Don't force it. That's a big one.
And this is episode 3 of Catching Gold, the official podcast of the Northern Ontario Walleye Trail. It's great to have you back. I'm Dennis J. Puska. We're with Dean Bliss, Shane Turcoff from the NOWT, and we have guests joining us, are Steve and Chase Gravel. And you saw the video of Chase catching the big fish. We'll get his comments on that in a moment. Steve and Chase, thanks for joining us on our program. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having us. It's should be fun.
So go ahead, Shane. You wanted to kick things off.
Well, you know what? Let's start with Steve, okay? And we don't have Kevin on the broadcast today, but I know Steve. He could probably. I'm going to paint the picture, and then I'm going to kind of ask some questions from Steve. But let's look at last year in the championship win in Long Lac, and so you know what? Day one, I think they had 17 and some pounds after day one, sitting in third place. You know, a couple of big teams in front of them going out day two, and I know what it's like, and I'm sure you know, Steve. How were the nerves? How were the nerves for you and Kevin going on day two? You know, sitting in third place on the championship.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, they were up there. We were pretty nervous. I mean, we knew where we were going to start. Everyone started at the second island, and we knew there was going to be like probably 30 or 40 boats there. So we knew the big fish were there, and we were just hopeful that we were able to get a couple. So yeah, we were nervous. I think once you start getting some fish in the boat, then the nerves would slowly go away. But I think just the starting was it was nerve-wracking, knowing that the two guys ahead of us were great sticks. So we knew we had to at least come in with the same amount, if not more, just to catch them.
Yeah, how did day two, break that down for me? Like when was the first fish in the boat, and when was the last weigh fish in the boat on day two? Do you kind of remember how that went down?
A little bit. I mean, I keep a journal, so I know exactly what happened, but I didn't read it now. But I do remember that everyone was there in the morning, and we had a certain waypoint. For some reason, they were there all week, and there was boats going through there, and it took a little bit for us to get in there. And the first one, Ivan Misovich and his partner drove by, and I could see it under his boat with the forward-facing sonar. And I told Kevin, I said, "There's a big one right there." So literally waited till it went by, and it was the first cast. We were throwing jigging wraps. It was my first cast, and I think it was just under 30 inch. So once we had that one in the boat, then Ivan just went by, so they were all looking at us reeling in. So it was pretty good. Once we had that one in, then it was just a matter of just grinding it out, trying to get a couple more big ones, and then our unders, yeah. And then it was a matter of just trying to get unders. So.
You guys grind it out, but at the same time, I have to say, day one, 17 and some pounds, and then day two, you pretty much replicated the same weight, which basically moved you up to the top spot. And you guys took home the brand new Princecraft boat with the Mercury engine, Garmin electronics, and you won the Long Lac tournament on top of that, right? So, tell me, this is your second boat, second championship. Tell me how does that feel? Is it better the second time, or was it really better the first time?
I don't know. I think the first time we just after our weight, we kind of knew that we won. So we already knew, we finished half an hour early or 45 minutes early, and we already knew. So I think the celebration was pretty good in the first one. The second one, we had no idea until the very, very last second. So it was two different. You were a lot more nervous the second one, whereas the first one you already knew you won, and you kind of sat there for 2 hours waiting. Whereas the first one,
Yeah.
Whereas the second one, it was we had no idea. We had one fish in the live well that because we heard someone got disqualified because the fish was too long. So we had one who just kept on looking at it, kept on measuring it, and was like, "Oh, I don't know. This was for the long lac," and it was good, but it was nerve wracking. Those are the ones that you like the 17 3/4. There's no issues, but when you get them right on the 18 there, it was a little nerve wracking for sure.
Hey guys,
those are the devilfish that we don't like to catch, actually, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Steve, how does your, like, when you know, your plan, right? During the day, you sort of make, before you take off, you have sort of an idea what's going to happen, right, for that day, and you try to stick to that plan as much as possible. But I mean, when you got to change on the fly, especially like on day 2, when all of a sudden, like, the lake was just boiling, right? So I mean, like, how do you, like, you know, what kind of, you know, decision do you make, and you know, how do you change that on the fly?
I think for a long lac for day 2, we were literally throwing back 5-pounders. We were the only boat getting them. We were the only boat getting them. Like, there was 30 boats, 20 boats all around us, and the other people just could not figure out how to get them to bite. They would follow in, but the other guys couldn't get them to bite. And yeah, we were throwing back 5-pounders. So when the wind picked up, you know, we kind of had our 2 big ones already, so it wasn't too bad. But it was tough in the afternoon to fish. Like, we didn't get many big fish at all in the afternoon. We had a couple, maybe 23, 24 inches, but besides that, once the wind picked up, it was tough. And then
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, once we had, like, I think we had
good for you guys to have.
Yeah, once we had the 6.
Well, good for you guys to actually have it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, good that you guys had, at least, you know, you had that, your 2 overs that you were, you know, credible overs. You figured, you know, we have a good chance, right? So, because yeah, the wind was brutal, man, and it was very tough fishing. That is for sure, for sure.
Yeah, Steve, how you know, you must be thinking about the 3-peat. So what, you know, what's going through your mind for, you know, Timmins is coming up here pretty soon, and like I said, you guys are known anglers, right? Like, so what's the plan? Do you have a plan? Have you stared at maps? Have thought about, you know, a plan when you get there?
I think I've been looking at maps ever since since the last year. I mean, it was our first time ever on the lake last year, and we only had like a day and a half of pre-fish, so we pretty much focused just on the north end because we figured that's the shallower water and probably going to be warmer, and the fish will be there. But find out pretty quick that the guys that won were getting the big ones down south, right? So I think the plan this year is we're going to probably go up with 2 boats just for the first couple of days. Say like Tuesday, Wednesday, fish 2 boats. We can break the lake down, and then we'll get back in the boat together. And because I don't know anything about that system. I think I had 1 hour on one day, and then we had a full day of pre-fish, so we only had really a day and a bit. So,
well, we look forward to seeing you out on the lake for sure this year, and I always look forward to seeing you out on the circuit and having a couple of drinks and catching up. But I you know what, earlier, we were talking. Dean had mentioned a really good story about you guys. I mean, not only you guys accomplished anglers, but Dean, why don't you talk to Steve, like what we talked about before they joined us here?
Yeah, I was mentioning, I believe it was at MFN in Matagami, we had, you know, you guys had basically wrapped everything up, right? I mean, you had the tournament, you had, you know, you guys had checks coming out, you know, prizes were given to you guys. And I remember, like, you guys calling up, you know, the young angler from the crowd to, you know, present him with your Garmin package that you had just won, right? So it just goes to say a little bit about, like, you know, who you guys are, and like, you know, you and Kevin were both up there, and like, what made you guys decide to do that?
I think we spoke about it earlier, right? Like, I think we gave, I don't know, I know we gave a giraffe away. I think it was a hummingbird giraffe. I think we gave it to the young was it the Francoeur? The young Francoeur boy?
Might have been, yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so because I know we gave we actually we've given them almost every one tournament. I know we gave one to the Francoeur. It was a small little, I think it was a 7-inch hummingbird. We've seen him there. He was like one of the youngest kids there, and it was cold. I think he fished hard with his dad. So we were just thinking about it, and we asked, like, what are we going to do with the prizes? And we're thinking about the graph, and we're like, well, why don't we just give it to the young angler there? And so we said, yeah, sure, let's just do it. So it's almost something that we always do. I think we gave the $500 Garmin prize one time to Moray, the young Moray.
You did. I remember that.
Yeah. And then the championship, in Long Lac, we actually gave the $500 gift prize to, I think it was Capetti. If not Capetti, it was his partner. Mm-hmm. I think it was his son. So I don't know. I think it's just give back to the young kids that are in there. And I mean, we got enough graphs on our boat now, and maybe that'll help them want to buy a new graph. You get the $500 gift card. So
it's very gracious and something that we can all learn from. That's for sure. And yeah, to promote the young and that youth anglers to come into the trail, that's who's going to be the future of the trail, right? Right, Chase?
Yeah.
For sure. Dennis, hey, did you want to jump in there with anything, Dennis?
Yeah, Chase, as you see all this happening and get all these bright minds of all these anglers, are you excited to get back on the boat, Chase, and start fishing again and getting out for the first event of the year?
Yeah.
What do you talk a little bit more? Okay, go ahead.
I don't know.
Which one are we doing?
Oh, Duberville and maybe the Sioux. Well, yeah, the Sioux.
Wow, that's going to be amazing stuff. You're going to be able to do that. What do you get excited when you get a chance to go down there? Do you get start getting excited days before because you get a chance to go down there and get in the boat and go fish?
Yeah, because the days feel a lot slower.
Do they feel slower for you on the boat?
Yeah.
Especially when things aren't kind of going your way?
Yeah.
When do you start getting excited? When you get that first fish on the line, how excited do you get about reeling it in and wanting to get him in the boat as fast as you can?
Pretty excited.
Yeah. Steve, do you have a chance to teach him anything? Have you taught him? He's still very young, but talk about what kind of skills you've passed along to him as he gets ready for another season on the water and going at it this year.
Yeah, I mean we're on the water all the time, so he gets a good chance. He's pretty good. So when we're using forward facing sonar, he's getting pretty good at accuracy, right? So if I say, hey, it's 60 feet right off the corner of the boat, he's usually pretty good on it. And if you can land on the fish, you're usually getting it. So yeah.
How tough is that for a young angler, though? For a young angler to say, hey, 60 feet, you got to hit your mark. How hard is that for someone of his age?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, there's a few young kids in our circuit that are good, right? And I think it's just practice. We get out there and practice, and yeah, I think it's in the wind. It gets a little bit tougher, but usually in a tournament, if there's a big one there, I'll say, okay, I'll give you 3 chances to land on it. If you're not close, then I'm casting. So
yeah, and you know what? Speaking of fish, like again, everyone saw the video of Chase catching that fish. That fish was caught in Sault Ste. Marie and during the St. Mary's River Walleye Cup, and this is where I'm going to get Chase to talk a little bit here because this was day 2. And you know what? These guys were in the top 5 going out day 2. Very good weight day 1, and we know day 2 is always tougher, right? It's always tougher to get all your wave fish in the boat. So that video that was shot of Chase catching that fish, I believe that was your last wave fish of the day that actually counted on the scale for you guys. Was it not, Chase? That was a big fish for you guys?
I just can't remember anything.
Well, I tell you what, you're going to watch this video. When you see this podcast, we have the video of you catching that fish. and you were screaming and you were so excited, and your dad was yelling, and there was high fives going on, and you guys ended up in second place in that tournament, and that was a great moment to catch. And you know what? You're gonna watch that video over and over again as you get older. But man, I gotta say your angling skills were top notch on that fish, and I can't wait to see what you're gonna do this year as well. And you wrapped it up that tournament. You were the Garmin Youth Angler of the Year. You walked away with an Echo Map 9 and a brand new live scope. And I think you're probably going to hone your skills even more with your dad, as I know your dad is on the water a lot. But again, tell me what it feels like to win something like that. Again, I know you're not a person of many words, but I look forward to hearing a couple here and how it felt to win that award in Sault Ste. Marie in front of everybody.
It was pretty fun because it was my first 2 tournaments ever, and yeah.
Well,
So,
those are pretty good 2 tournaments, and again, I look forward to seeing what you're going to do on the water this year. But I'll let Dean jump in here because I know Dean wants to talk to you too.
I mean, it was incredible. When I see the video, it is an incredible fish. Your posture is perfect. Do you call for the net right away, or do you wait, for your dad to give you those instructions? Like, because I can see you calling for the net and say, "Hey, I need the net here, guys. Come on."
well, he's like, maybe it's swimming forward and it doesn't feel big, so I'm still gonna grab the net.
Yeah, until it came to the surface, then you were happy you had the net, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Chase, what about all the other Chase, what about all the other like youth anglers? I mean, because to win that title that you won, it was not an easy feat either. I mean, there are some really, really, really great like youth anglers out there, and I know I see a lot of you guys at the tournaments, and you guys are all kind of hanging out. I don't know if you're kind of like throwing stuff back at each other, saying, I'll get a better fish than you tomorrow," so on and so forth. But so how is it with all those guys?
I don't know.
Well, what did you and Sam Tayar, did you guys, Miguel, son, did you guys talk about it at all? Fishing?
No.
Who's getting a bigger fish? Nothing?
No,
Okay,
we're just playing.
No side bets or anything? It was a great job, Chase. Great job, and yeah, you deserve the Angler of the Year for sure, and good for you. I hope you keep it up.
And I even told him before the Sault Ste. Marie. I said that you have a chance to win the Youth Angler of the Year, and you're not just going to sit in the bottom of the boat and let Kevin and I win. Because if that's what would have happened, I 100% would have said he does not deserve the award. Give it to the next kid. But I think the first day he had the first three fish in the box, and then
nice.
I think he had 3. I had 2. Kevin had none, and I think Huxton and Doyen were yelling at Kevin, "Hey, you got to start pulling your weight." Yeah, and then that fish that he got on day 2, I think that was just under 7, and I think we got rid of a 3-pounder or something. So.
Nice upgrade.
Well, you guys proved again that you guys are fantastic anglers, fantastic people as well, and how you give back. I want to give some time back to you guys. Like Steve, I know you have sponsors, and you can't do this by yourself, and so I want to give you an opportunity to just kind of, thank who you want to thank out there, and turn it over to you.
Yeah, I think this year I got. There's lots of sponsors. NXS for sure, NXS and GFW. I'm on board with them again, and then all my main sponsors. I mean, it's Tunnel Lake Trading Post. Royal Lepage, you got High Caliber Lures, Sure Catch Baits, Rusty Jonkus Services, trying to think, Expedition Helicopters out of Cochrane, used to be from Cochrane, so they still sponsor me. Got Laird Signs, who does all my decals and my tournament jerseys. MSR Tire in town here. A lot of them are the local people that sponsor me. Napa Sports, Milltown Motors. I got a couple new ones, and then trying to think. I don't want to leave anybody out here.
You can read my jersey.
What's that? Yeah, I can read the jersey. Good call on that, buddy.
And
Yeah, we got LA
and
Trucking,
Chase.
Transcan Motors. We got Lawson Motors. What else we got here in the front? Hey, and AJ Bus Lines.
There you go. You got them
There you
all.
I got them all. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
And Chase, are you in some kind of talks, Chase, with any kind of main sponsor for yourself?
I don't know.
Just Dad.
Like a maybe Rackspin or J&B Cycle, or
Oh, there you go.
maybe with Princecraft Canada, maybe, who knows, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, soon enough he'll be driving me around. I can just sit in the passenger seat and just take it easy.
I doubt that'll happen. Well, guys, from all of us, I do thank you guys for coming on today. Really appreciate it. Dennis, anything else you want to add?
Well, guys, this has been great. Just sitting and enjoying this interview with these guys. The excitement level's building for the first tournament of the year. Steve and Chase, how excited are you? Is this the anticipation is just building, isn't it? Just until we get a chance to get out there and get the Timmins and get over down 144.
Yeah, so I think the one for the championship I'm fishing with Kevin, so that'll be the first one. But the second one for the Father's Day one on Duberville, that's the one I'll be doing with Chase. So, but yeah, the excitement's there, and it's always good. Just good to get back in the competition, and good just to see all the anglers again. Right, a lot of us are friends, and you're competing against each other, but it's just the social part that's fun. Get to see everybody again and have some beers and talk about the long winter.
Our good friend Weiser's too.
Yeah, I do like those.
When you said you're going to be fishing on Father's Day in Duberville, talk about that Father's Day fishing in a tournament with your son. What does that mean to you? What's that mean to be on the water in an event like that, especially on Father's Day?
You know what? It's now that he's at the age, he's 11 now, so it's fun. You're only going to get so many times like these in your life, right? So once maybe he won't want to do fishing anymore. So it's always good. Used to always do it with Kevin, but you'd always see like the father and son or the father and daughter, or it was always good. And it's like, yeah, one day once he's old enough, then we'll be able to do it together. And yeah, it was fun.
And of course, they're on the Big Fish Factory in the thriving metropolis of Duberville, and I know they're going to be excited about that, and it is going to be a great event, that's for sure. This has been a lot of fun, guys. Steve and Chase, thank you guys for joining us, and all the best of luck in catching gold in Timmins and the NOWT Championship and the Timmins event.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, guys, and good luck.
That's going to wrap up episode 3 of our show for Dean Bliss, Shane Turcotte, and the Gravels. I'm Dennis J. Puska. Be good, stay out of trouble. I'll try to do the same. We'll see you in Timmins in a few weeks, friends, with episode 4. This has been Catching Gold, the official podcast of the Northern Ontario Walleye Trail on the Northern Corridor Podcast Network on YouTube, brought to you by Puska Media Services. Good night, Dick. Talk to you next time. Bye for now.
Hold on. Don't force it. That's a big one.
Thanks for tuning in to Catching Gold, the official podcast of the Northern Ontario Walleye Trail. Watch all of the episodes on YouTube and at PuskaMediaServices.com. Catching Gold on the Northern Corridor Podcast Network was written and produced by Dennis J. Puska, with assistance from Shane Turcott, Dean Bliss, and the NOWT. All rights reserved. This has been a 2026 Puska Media Services NOWT Studio 29 DP production.